That's
No, that's a kimbap cutter.
oh wait, that's a thing?
Yeah. It's very expensive. It's like it was it's if you want to buy it in the States, it's $5,000. In Korea, it's like 400만 원, which is still very expensive. But we got it used for
Wow.
very cheap. So
Is there a marketplace for those kitchen equipment?
no, it just happened where somebody that used to make kimbap here is moving. And
Hmm.
so he was selling all of his equipment and he just happened to reach out to us and he was like, well, I'll sell it to you if you want it for pretty cheap. And so we got it for pretty cheap.
Wow, that's very nice. So like the person reached out first then.
Yeah, because I guess they sort of knew that they were all looking at our Instagram, and so they found us through Instagram, and they just reached out, and we were like, we'd love to take it off your hands, and so we
Wow.
met him this past weekend. We got the cutter plus like a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of kitchen equipment over there.
Hmm.
There's like a cart, there's a rice cooker, there's like a RoboCoupe, which basically just like is a commercial grade mixer, blender, processor, it can do everything.
Oh, exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's official. We're moving. So yeah, it's exciting.
Wow. How's it been? How's
It's good. I'm excited. We finally got our license and everything, so we're like officially ready to go. I don't know if you saw our Instagram story, but we actually got contacted by a very renowned chef in New York. And he was just like, "Can I order some kimbap?" And we made last night. He reached out, and so we this morning we woke up at 5:30 in the morning to get ready for it. We did all six of our flavors, and I'm actually watching the James Beard Award because the restaurant in New York is being nominated, and so that's why him and like all the other chefs are here. So it's actually a very big weekend in Chicago because all the very
Oh.
famous chefs and renowned chefs throughout the country are live here.
Hmm.
And so it's fascinating. Like I'm watching it live right now. I think they're announcing some stuff, but it'd be really cool if they won because then it'd be like, you know. And so what we were hoping for is like we asked him for feedback. So hopefully, he hasn't responded. Obviously, he's very busy because of the award ceremony and stuff. But I'm assuming maybe tomorrow I might reach out and see if he has any comments. But yeah, it was a very cool opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see what happens and let's go from there.
Well, so this is just a pure just happening. He just saw probably one of your posts and just reached
Yeah,
out.
I think there are some people that do kimbap in New York that I think sort of follow us or like that know about us. And so I
Hmm.
guess he knows some of those people. And I think they referred him to us just to
Hmm.
try. Obviously, we're not public yet. We'll be public very soon. And so I think he just wanted to try because our kimbap does look different. So I think he was wondering like what it tasted like. Obviously, he's from a three Michelin star restaurant. So like it's not,
Oh, dang.
it's very famous. I mean, it's being nominated. The restaurant he used to work at is being nominated for James Beard Awards. So.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously our food is not like Michelin grade food, but like, we think it's just going to be good food. And we are continually revising. Me and Jimmy have had testing the past 4 days. We've tested five of our rolls at this point. And so we've had kimbap every day basically for lunch and dinner. Um, Today ended up making, so like we made 12 in the morning. We made another probably 8 or 10 in the afternoon. By the time dinner rolled around and we had to keep up again, I think I was ready to like toss in the towel. Like I was like, I thought I was gonna throw up for eating too much kimbap. And so, but it's good. I mean, I think it's like it's all for the right reasons. Like it's all for the right sort of, you know, we're doing the right things. And time will tell. We're right now a lot of the things that we're testing is just if we add additional ingredients to the kimbaps that we currently have, is it make it that much better?
Hmm.
I think that the continual thought is like your food can always be better. So it's like, how do we make it better? Like there's always obviously the ingredients that and how you treat them and like where you source it and like, the marinades and things like that, the seasonings. But then there's also like what kind of ingredients are you actually putting in? Like does the actual chemistry of them work together? So right now we're just keeping the basics sort of as tight as possible, and then hopefully we can expand as soon as we can. But yeah, it's just a lot of testing, a lot of dishes, a lot of cleaning. We made 12 rolls this morning. I spent another 2 hours cleaning. we made it again, and then I spent another 2 hours cleaning. So it's like 5 hours of work, 2 hours of cleaning, another, 5 hours of work, and then another 2 hours of cleaning. It's
Mm,
probably like an hour of cleaning, to be fair, because if Jimmy helps out, if Jimmy was here for the, because Jimmy obviously has his job to as well, and so, um,
mm,
but it finally feels like, we're doing the right things. We're like focusing on the product and making sure that our food tastes good. So we're eager to hear what the chef has to say about our food, but realistically too, it's just, they're another customer of ours, and at the end of the day, like we're trying to sell a lot of food, and we'll just see what the public thinks.
mm.
So,
Any first impressions of this chef?
oh, he's super nice. Just a
Mm,
super nice guy. He's Korean, and like he's super, super nice. Yeah, he's very friendly. Like he sort of just told us like how he heard about us, and like, I gave him our whole spiel about like he was like, you must have put a lot of thought and like work into it. And we're like, yeah, like here's all the things that we considered. Like here's a reason why we do like purple rice. Here's a reason why we clump it up together. Here's the reason why the egg is on the outside. Like the ways that we did it, and still not perfect, obviously. I told him we're sort of in the early stages, but like, at this point, I think the threshold for us is just, are we confident enough in the work that we've put in to be able to
mm,
say to someone like that,
mm,
that like it's gonna be good? Because at the end of the day, food is always subjective. But it's like if you put in enough thought about like, does this combination work? Does this work? Like, how is there a better way to do this? Because there's one end of like making the food taste as good as possible, and there's the other end of like, how do you make operations feasible, and how do
mhm,
you make the costs bearable?
mm,
So I think we're taking it from three different lenses, which I think is good. But yeah, I don't know. It like when you meet somebody like that, it's kind of weird because it's like I don't ever intend or to be in that kind of like sort of the artisan space. I don't really know if we can do that. I don't know if that's like where our interests are. But like it's such a cool world to be in. And just meeting someone of that caliber from that industry, from this industry, right, is a fascinating experience. It wasn't like the meeting itself wasn't anything like crazy. It was just a very nice like interaction. Like we just, spoke for like 5 or 10 minutes. We took a picture. Um, and then, he took the food, and then he went up. We like met him at his hotel and stuff. And so it was a really cool experience. But I think just the fact that like he reached out, and like the social media thing, the reach that
mm.
it got, and like the fact that like
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cooking, but like I've done a lot of research in the past, 5 to 6 months about how do I make this work. And at this point I've rolled a lot of rolls,
Hmm.
fried a lot of chicken. So like I'm confident in the work that we've put in. It can always be better, but like so it's just like a really weird experience. I've done this for 5 or 6 months, and like here's someone that's like, and I'm sure from their perspective too, it's like I don't know if I'm sure they've put a lot of thought into Keep Up Alone, but like I don't know if they've done it the same way we have, and so I'm sure for them too, it's like a version of like what is out there, and like is there things that other people are doing that are cool, which is which makes a lot of sense.
Hmm. What's really happy from my end, just as someone looking at this from the sideline, is that, you know, in a way, I've kind of heard about the initial thoughts of, okay, thinking about quitting your job and pursuing this food idea, and then that becoming into something bigger, and then, your commitment to um, kind of leaving the company, and, you know, for you to be in the position you're now, which is like now you got your license, now it's really the start of the journey. And I just remember, like, I think someone told me, I think it might have been one of the professors or that I took, and he was just saying about how when you're working so hard for something, like sometimes in life things start to like align together for to help you kind of achieve what you want to achieve. And it just, from my end, it just seems like this may be just that beginning of things where, all that difficulty of, making that decision to uh, kind of, researching about your recipe, the quality, the food, and now you got your license. Now you can sell. You got some gracious kind of not donation, but for equipment that you got, at a good price, and to kind of see someone recognize you from far away that you have no connection with. I think those are all great fuel to kind of help you now really enter into the arena, right? The real, where it's real.
No, I mean we agree. I think Jimmy and I were talking about this too, but like it's a very cool feeling when things like this happen. It'd be even cooler if they said good things about our food. I mean, then you'd be like, that's really cool.
Hmm.
But even besides that, just the opportunities that we get. I mean, I think that's why we work like not just for us, but like that's why everybody works hard, right? It's like when you get these opportunities, if you can do well with them, then that's a testament to the work that you've put in. And if you didn't, then it'll show, right? And I think to be honest with you, I had a little not panic attack, but at one point I was like, am I really trying as hard as I can for this Kimbap thing? Like, is there really like, am I really putting in everything that I have? And I think the answer was no at the time. And so that's when I decided, like, before we do this pre-order, we're going to spend a day on every single roll and just consider some other alternatives. Like, we added in cucumbers, we added in peppers, we added in mayo directly into the roll. Like, we tried a few different variations of every single roll. And while it's not like fully comprehensive, I think it gave me a little bit of sort of confidence that like the typical combinations that we think about in kimbap don't like we switched it up a couple of things actually. Like the spam kimbap, we ended up putting in cucumber because the spam is so salty, and so the cucumber helps add a little bit of moisture and um, sort of flavor to. And so like little things that we've changed, but like now at least I know that like I've tried very different various combinations using our same sort of the technique that we have, and um, and it's been now I'm pretty gassed. Like Jimmy and I, this was our fourth day of testing. We've basically been together every single day. And like in the mornings, I would make the kimbap on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today. And then at night, Friday, Saturday, I would go work. And then, Sunday I slept in a little bit. Today we woke up at 5:30. So it's like now I feel good about like the work that we've put in. And so now I think it's just about how do we handle logistics of, there's obviously the pre-orders that we have to get out. There's still food concerns about like I need to make sure that the sauce still tastes good. The sauce needs a lot of work. I have no idea how to make sauces. Um, so yeah, and so now we've also reached out to a bunch of cafes that we know do pop-ups, and they've been very willing to let us do pop-ups with them. And so we're discussing some details in July and August. So things are moving finally. I'm excited for things to move. I think the momentum will pick up the momentum a little bit with the social media too once we actually start doing things, which I think will
Hmm.
be exciting. Um, But yeah, so it's a combination of excitement, but also a lot of nerves and a lot of sort of thinking about like there's a lot of things that we still need to do before we can actually do stuff. And so we'll do them. But for today, basically me and Jimmy were like after we've cleaned up at like 7 or 8, we're done. We started at like we started at 5:30. We cleaned up and like did our stuff. Like I went for a workout. Jimmy had some calls that he had to do for his like actual job. And then we met back up at like 3:30, rolled it again, and then cleaned up again. And then we're done at like 7 or 8 and then cleaned up. And then I've just been kind of hanging out, grabbed a beer, and then we're gonna relax a little bit. But then, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna go back into the city hall, get the license and see how we can push things forward again. So
Hmm. Well, this is one thought I had while I was just kind of with the recent kind of interaction with a very well-known, very well-known chef in the industry. I'm just curious, since I know a lot of people, especially who kind of dive into starting their own food or restaurant business. I'm not sure, maybe it's not the case, but I assume a lot of people have maybe background in culinary, or maybe they're just a cook at home. And I know for you, your profession was slightly different. And have you had any thoughts on those aspects where your kind of background is quite different for maybe someone who starts in the food industry?
yeah, I mean I always think about it, right? And I think this is a recurring thought with just anything, but I think if I somebody put it to me like this, right? If your life dependent on is dependent on selling this one product, no matter what it is, right? I think you would figure out a way to sell that one product no matter what.
Hmm.
And to me, I think my passion is still in restaurants in general. Whether I'm not like a big foodie, right? Like for me, like going to a three Michelin star restaurant is not my idea of like fun. Like it's cool, it's an amazing experience, but like I don't like that's not where my thing is just like I want good food for a reasonable price with and if I go to sit down at a meal, then like I want it to be, good environment and like I want to have a good time, be treated with good service. Like there's certain elements of the restaurants that I really enjoy and like that's what I really like about it. Um, and I tend to think that like if I really like it and that's where I want to be, and the past 3 or 4 months I've had no doubt that like this hospitality industry is exactly where I want to be. Then like it's just time for me to learn, right? Like I will have to figure it out. Whether that means I've thought about going to like maybe culinary school or like I really like baking, so like maybe I was going to
Mm,
go to
yeah.
like, some sort of school for that. But then realistically, right? Like I have an accounting degree from ULI. But I've never once used it to any sort of a degree. And anything that I need to know from an accounting perspective, I will Google it, I will chat GPT it and find that out in a matter of minutes if my life depended on it.
Mm,
I sort of think of this as the same thing where like even if I get a formal education, I don't necessarily think that it's going to set me up better for
mm,
success. I think
mm,
it's more so um like what kind of experience can I get and like how hard can I try? Um to want, to do this. And I think if I try hard enough and I just grind it out for a while, then like, you know, then something will happen.
mm. Also, I remember you always repeat that your purpose of starting 82 Kimbap. Um, any changes to that goal? Any additions to that goal?
No, I mean, I think it's always the same. I think we want to expand into other Korean food, but like maybe I don't know. One thing that has changed is like maybe I'm starting to see the possibility of just Korean food in general, or like just kimbap in general, like all the opportunities.
Hmm.
Also, sorry, this is a side note, but like the chef won the Outstanding Chef James Beard Award, which is pretty insane.
Oh, you just got it? Oh, you
Yeah, he
just
just
won
got
it?
it. Yeah, he just won it. Or, like
Whoa.
not the chef I talked to today, but like he's the
Uh,
suit, or he's standing right next to him right now. But like the head
wow.
chef of the place is the official outstanding. It's like I guess it's like the most prestigious award.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's just because it's kind of cool because I met this guy this morning and like he's now
Yeah.
on the stage and the most prestigious. I'm probably gonna text him tomorrow, ask him how Kimbap was. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I think I see more potential in Kimbap now, meaning like once you get the basic methodology of rolling this down and some of the basic flavors, like there's so many things. It's basically a vessel for how you can. It's basically just a vessel. It's like a burger. It's like two burger buns, right? Like what can you put inside of it that's
Mhm.
so cool and unique and the flavor is very distinct and the way that you do it is very distinct. And so now it's all about like, oh, there's actually a lot of fun and cool things that I could do with it. I don't know what I want to do with it, but like I think that is a realm of possibility that I've now started considering. Like even yesterday when we were doing a bunch of testing, we had a bunch of eggs left over. So we just put a bunch of eggs, we put some mayo, and then we put some peppers, like some hot, like some green chili peppers. It was delicious. Like it was like delicious, delicious enough to be like, wow, I could maybe sell this, right?
Mm,
So you taste something like that and you're like, wow, like there's like this sort of random stuff, but like it's really good. So then what else can you do that's good and obviously it has to make sense from a cost perspective, but like I think those are some of the thoughts that I have when I now look at kimbap, especially because I've been looking at it so much every single day. Whereas before I was just like I'm gonna do kimbap and like move on to like fumbap or something that I really so I will say that that perspective has changed a little bit.
mm, mm. Wow. No, I think I really like the comparison you made with the buns. Yeah, it really is a infinite, yeah, vessel.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think I sometimes, and this is what I've been really thinking about recently, but what is so, I guess, unique about doing your own thing, about doing your own business is I'm starting to understand and appreciate the idea of strategy. Like strategy is just a very sexy word, but in essence, you just decide the direction in which you want to go. And sometimes when you have too many options that you can go in, you don't know what the right one is.
Mm,
And in reality, you have to choose one, right? You can always pivot and like move and we will be flexible as we go, but I don't know. I think the most recent debate that Jimmy and I have been having is, do we want to go down this sort of artisan route, right? Like sort of the independent restaurants, you have sort of one-offs that are really special and really tailored and sort of chef driven. Or do you want to have something that is scalable and something that is more franchise based? You just have a compact list of things that are really good that people really like, and it's not anything fancy, it's not anything crazy, but you can scale it and you can make good business out of it.
Hmm.
What path do we want to go down, right? Because right now the way that we're doing it is sort of the more trendy, sort of the viral, like, because we are on social media and that's our main form of marketing, I think that's sort of the direction we're going, right? It's like how can we go to these cafes and like get like cool roll like video shots of us rolling this kimbap. To me, like the kimbap flavors though is like the most basic, it's like the most fundamental flavors. I think we try to do it well, but it's not anything crazy. And so realistically, from a business perspective, the latter probably makes more sense in certain terms of being able to scale and like make more money. And so I don't know, like, because the reason why this is important is then we start to really focus in on just the six, and we don't really go down the artisan route of like what kind of cool things can we put in. It's more of what kind of mainstream things can we put in that people are really gonna like.
Mm.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is.
Mm.
Yeah. I think a part of it will just be like we'll just have to start selling and just see what people think. And if
Hmm.
people don't like it, then like we have to adjust. And if people do like it, then we keep on and just do something similar and add on to it. I don't know.
Is the ordering process still the same? They just submit the pre-order form. You have to drop date and time, location, and people just pick it up.
First one will be like that. Again, this is something that Jimmy and I continually talk about. Jimmy really likes the idea of those pre-orders because it sort of makes things a little bit easier, I think, for us because we always have set demand. Like we always know who's going to get what. We always have the payment prepaid for. So like from a financial perspective, it makes a little bit more sense. Me personally, though, I'm sort of on the side of, the pre-order makes sense for the beginning, like the first or couple times. And then realistically, in order for us to get to the real customers that maybe want to order again, or like the customers that want to just order on the fly, I'd rather be on third-party platforms and like just be able to find a way to make things easier for the consumer.
Mm.
And so, but then again, there's a hard trade-off there because the percentage that Uber Eats and these platforms take is massive. And so realistically, we won't be making any money, and I'm worried that we're probably going to lose money if we go on these platforms. Which the whole point of us doing this was not to make money to begin with, for at least right now. But if we take pretty big losses, then it becomes harder to justify why we're even doing this. And so, like, we don't know what sort of the right answer there is. Like we literally talked about this morning. So, but it's something that's on our mind and something that we're trying to figure out.
By any chance, do you remember what percentage they take?
I've heard anywhere between 25 to 30%.
20 to 30%. I didn't know it was two digits. Wow.
It's way past due digit. And that's why most places will up their prices on Uber Eats.
Ah, that makes sense. And do they cover delivery or is it
Yeah, so
separate?
the delivery fee and all of those fees and using the platform, that's what takes up to 25-30%.
Of one sale, right? Like
Yep.
if I order
Yep.
one give Bob, it'll be
Yep.
20-30% of that.
Yep.
Wow.
But I mean, that's what you pay for, right? Like because that's what Uber Eats, like everybody has Uber Eats and DoorDash. Like that the reach is already there for them, right? And then
Mm-mm.
the delivery logistics they take care of, right?
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, for sure, it's not a financially good decision. I don't think by any means, especially for restaurants that are not well funded.
Wow.
So it is a very legitimate, like normally, right? You'd be like, oh, you should just go on those apps and it'd be really simple. But like realistically, that is a pretty big financial decision. And so
Mm.
we already have 3 or 4 pop-ups that is lined up for July. And so not like fully set in stone yet, but we're talking about some dates. And so if we do that plus the pre-orders, we're hoping that'll generate enough sort of revenue for us to believe that this will work. But
Mm.
who knows?
Wow. Interesting. This is
Yeah.
a really random idea. I forgot the name of the app. I think it may be like One Plate, Nexus Plate, whatever that is. It's like this. It's an app. I think it's a startup too. I've just
Mhm.
heard it like maybe a year ago, since it was like an app for basically like college students to find leftover food at
Yeah. Too Good to
ba
Go is also one that is
yeah,
popular here.
something like that. And I was just thinking that like at the end of the day, like all you need is audience, traffic to see your food. And yeah, I was just thinking like if that's the goal, I mean, of course you're going to do other things like that, but
Yeah.
just getting eyeballs, getting people here, I guess it hurts the brand image, but yeah, but that
Yeah,
was,
there's no right or wrong, right? It's like we're just figuring things out one at a time, and
yeah.
I don't know. We're excited to be able to sell. I think it's first things first. Like realistically, we have to be able to sell, and like our food has to be good. Like before all else, like our food has to be good, and it has to be consistent, and we have to make it on time. I think all the other details, like we can worry about it as it comes, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh no, that's still very exciting though, to finally the green light to be able to take payments, and now you have your shared kitchen running as well. So it's literally just as you mentioned, go time. It's just selling as much as possible, like and getting feedback as much as possible.
yeah. I guess we'll have to just. I don't know. It's very real. So I'm excited. But I'm honestly I'm probably a little bit more stressed and nervous than excited. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
And um yeah, just another question regarding just what's happening right now with everything. Um I mean, I guess recently you just kind of experienced the power of marketing, kind of seeing like social media people reaching out through, uh, I guess, unexpected paths.
mhm.
Um, any thoughts on that, on like whether you want to double down on that or um, looking into future roles to help out with that, since your focus is really on quality operations.
Yes and no. Um, I think social media will always be a focus of ours. I think it's such a big, powerful tool for us.
Hmm.
I think a restaurant theoretically is not run by social media, right? It's
Hmm.
very big, right? It's very important.
Hmm.
But this is the thing, I guess, with all like marketing, but like it helps people get in the door once. And
Hmm.
so I think the more important thing is locally, if people really enjoy eating it and word of mouth spreads that like, especially among Korean
Hmm.
people, because Korean people are tough. But like
Yeah.
if somebody has it and they're like, oh, it's actually pretty good, then like people will go and try it again.
Mm,
And if we get reoccurring customers that come pretty often, then like I think that to me is really important. Like that to me is the end goal, right?
mm, mm,
Social media is important and it's cool and like it's cool to get like people like this. But I think you I don't know if it was you and me that talked about the idea of I think you mentioned the signal versus noise thing, right?
yeah.
I actually stuck with me quite a bit. I actually told Jimmy about it too, but I think that makes a lot of sense of labeling what is a signal versus a noise. To me, those reoccurring customers, that is a signal that like you're doing something right. All the marketing attraction and these people that reach out that are very cool and whatever like to me it's amazing, but that's not a signal. That's not saying that we're doing something right. It's just saying that we're doing something and somebody's taking notice, right?
Mm, mm,
If they say great things about it and then they tell other people, that's something else. But so I think to me like it's just that there are things that we need to focus on for sure. There are what we like to call table stakes things, and to me the food quality, consistency, that stuff is always table stakes. If we ever find that that's not good enough, which to me that's always going to be good enough, right? Because and I guess I'm speaking from inexperience, like I don't have any experience, but like at this point, I'm confident that at least for the summer that we will have enough traction at this current moment to like keep going for a little bit. After that, I don't know.
mm, mm.
Yeah. But I mean, sorry, that's a long answer. But so we will focus on social media, but it's not to me what is like the make or break of our business.
Mm, mm. Interesting. Yeah. No.
I also have no desire to be like an influencer of any kind. Like we're posting some interesting videos, which is fine. But realistically, like the type of content that we're going to start pushing out forward is similar to like our first one of like, hey, I quit my job. Like, here's what it's really like trying to open up something,
Mm,
and like maybe it'll get a little bit more candid about like the things that I feel now and like the stuff that we've bought and like just a quick update on how things have been. Um, and I guess we'll just have to see.
yeah. No. Yeah, the reason why I asked was I think it was also a question that I had I've been having recently with the world or industry that I've been kind of looking into. I just thought, maybe to see if there's any similarities or maybe difference in thoughts. Since I've just been looking at how in the tech world there's a lot of startups just doing their thing, but they're just overcrowded with noise. So everyone's starting something new, everyone trying to say that they have the best AI, whatever. But I recently saw this guy saying, hey, like at the end of the day, this guy's of course more like a marketing guy, so he always talks about like, oh, that's why in the future, these like marketing or growth positions are going to be so important because everyone's going to be building something, or everyone's going to be, putting in AI or whatever to seem different. But at the end of the day, if you're not able to attract eyeballs or get people's attention to use your service, like it is very difficult. And yeah, and I think I really resonate with you and like the um, word to mouth kind of phenomenon. I think that's what really helps retain recurring users or customers. Um, but yeah, I was just, it's a thought that I had and just wanted to hear what your thoughts on were since you're in
I
a
mean,
different industry.
yeah, I mean, social media, I think is powerful. I mean, I think it's definitely. I mean, it's very powerful. It seems right. It seems like we're getting attention from people I never thought we would ever have the privilege of getting to talk to. But it's all the same. I don't know. I think it's all the same thing to me. Like at the end of the day, it's just another person. Like if we want to sell, we have to sell to lots of persons.
Mm,
And
mm, true.
yeah, we're just gonna keep going and. Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of decisions to be made, and
Hmm.
a lot of. I guess the thing is like there. This is like the common thing with startups is like you just don't have a lot of data. You don't have a lot of
Yeah.
information, and you
Hmm.
are forced to make very important and big decisions, and or what feels like big important decisions.
Hmm.
And I think it just goes back to the foundation of just you just trust your instincts and you trust your gut and then try it, and if it doesn't work then you try something else and hope it works, and then you rinse and repeat until you find something that is a pattern that continually works, um, and then you continually do that until you get sold or go bankrupt.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a recipe, honestly, for success and what I've repetitively heard from great thought leaders as well. I do want to kind of end our conversation today on one last topic, and I think it's more geared towards, something that you mentioned today about decision making, since you said that now you're doing something for yourself, like a business for yourself. There's a lot of decisions to make. Um, are you more of a, natural decision maker? Um, how has anything changed in your perspective regarding making good decisions?
No, I think this was a bit of a simpler answer for me, but no, nothing has changed. I tend to think that my sense is good, my intuition is good, and I'm confident in my abilities. I am, though, easily swayed by people who are very experienced in the industry and tell me that I need to focus on certain things, right?
Mm,
I'm no different than anybody else. It's not like I have this magic vision of like I'm not like super. If I was super talented and super amazing at this one thing, then like I would already be doing amazing things. And I don't mean that in any sort of like derogatory. Like I'm not at that level, but like I trust myself enough where I think I have a lot of things that I can do well.
mhm.
Um, but it doesn't mean that like I'm always right. I think there's always a level of sort of um humility is not the right word, but like I'm very aware that like I'm not always right, and like as much as I'd like to trust my sense, like there's a lot of I'm very inexperienced, right? That's what I think that's what experience gets you,
Mm,
right? I think I'm smart enough, right, to like be able to sense things and like I can act fast and like I can do certain things, I can communicate well, and there are some basic things that I think I can do well that hopefully paired with experience over time, and hopefully my mental state is fine throughout that entire process and like I can stick with it till the end, and if that happens then I think I'll be just fine and I'll be where I want to be. If not, then like then maybe I won't. I don't know, it really depends, but I have full faith in myself that I will be where I want to be, but that doesn't mean that every day is like some magic vision pops up in my head and I'm not like we just need to do this and then it's just roses and daisies. No, it's like roses and daisies. It's like there's like three decisions and I'm like, oh, like crap, like I don't know what to do. Like maybe I do this, maybe I do that, and then ultimately you just make a choice and then you just say we're gonna stick with that, and then later maybe you come back to it and you're like, oh, that was stupid, or like maybe you don't. Like it's just one of those things. Like my head is very cluttered,
mm,
but I think if I didn't have that sense that I would do well, I don't think I would have ever quit such a nice job with,
mm,
a stable job and stable things. And
mm,
I think there's some level of crazy
mm.
you have to do, I think, what some people are doing.
Yeah. Wow. Very well put. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think definitely there's well, I mean, there's different formulas and different variables, but definitely those are a few that it seems like a staple to a lot of great successful people. So,
Yeah. We'll just keep trying, man. We'll just keep trying. I'm sure this is like we have it easy right now. I keep telling Jimmy the worst is yet to come. I'm like preparing myself. I always am like prepared for some reason for something to go tragically wrong. Like as an example, this shared kitchen thing, once we get our license, we actually get the portal opened up so we can reserve our times in the shared kitchen. I'm worried that like the dates that we have sort of tentatively set are going to be taken by somebody else at that time that we.
mm,
So that means
mm,
that we're screwed. And so
mm,
like this, so I'm like paranoid about that. So we'll find out tomorrow how that goes. But um, yeah. So I will say it's like lots of ups and downs.
mm.
So.
All
But
right.
it's not a down per se. Like I think the worst is yet to come, But like the things like that are always on my mind.
What can we look forward to in the upcoming week?
Oh, a lot. I think this week's gonna be huge for us. I think we're gonna set all of our dates once we get
Mm,
access to this portal. That
hmm.
means that we're gonna be launching all of these actual things on social media so people can actually see when we're gonna sell things.
Ooh, exciting.
We're gonna get our form ready. We're gonna get some sauces ready. We're gonna finalize. We've bought like $1,000 worth of kitchen equipment. It's arriving in a couple days to my place. Um, and so I mean, we're gonna set a date where we go and test the shared kitchen. So we'll just go and prepare a bunch of food, see what it's like cooking over there. And then that's it. Like we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah.
but that's this week.
Well, no, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be rough, but looking forward to it. And yeah, I'll look at those dates and see what my travel date will be. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
looking forward
Sounds
to
good.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Call me.
Alrighty.
All right,
Great.
brother.
I'll see you next week.
Sounds good, man. See ya.
Yeah.